One of these actors made over 300 westerns, most of them lost forever. Another got his big break playing a hunchbacked killer who spits in Clint Eastwood's face. And number one made the most famous western ever, but almost didn't live to finish it. Walter Brennan was one of those actors who could steal a scene without even trying. He was never the lead, but that didn't matter. He made every supporting role count. While a lot of actors in his generation only wanted to play the hero, Brennan was happy being a cranky grandpa, and Hollywood rewarded him for it. He won 3 Oscars for Best Supporting Actor in Westerns, Come and Get It, Kentucky, and The Westerner. The Academy eventually changed its voting rules because of allegations that he was getting votes from the acting extras branch, but that didn't slow him down. Henry Fonda wasn't just one of the best actors of all time, he spent a huge chunk of his career in westerns. Fonda saw the western evolve over the years. He starred in How the West Was Won, a massive historical epic that covered the expansion of America, and later, he flipped his image completely. In Once Upon a Time in the West, he played Frank, a ruthless villain in Sergio Leone's revisionist masterpiece. That final gunfight between Fonda and Charles Bronson is still one of the most iconic showdowns in Western history. Before John Wayne, before Clint Eastwood, there was Tom Mix. He was called the King of Cowboys for a reason. He made nearly 300 westerns. That's what the silent era was like. Fast production, quick turnarounds, and more cowboy films than you could count. Tom Mix was the original tough but good-hearted gunslinger, the kind of cowboy every western star after him would try to live up to. Unfortunately, most of his movies are gone forever. A fire in the Fox Corporation film vault wiped out a huge part of his filmography, making them lost films. Gary Cooper was basically the blueprint for the classic American hero. He played the good guy in most of his movies, but even when his roles got darker, like in Man of the West, he still had that natural charisma that made his westerns fun to watch. His most famous role is High Noon. He played Sheriff Will Kane, a man caught between duty and personal happiness, trying to decide if upholding the law was worth sacrificing his new life with Grace Kelly's character. The role won him an Oscar for Best Actor, and the movie is still considered one of the best westerns ever made. Franco Nero became the face of the spaghetti western era, the wild, bloody, over-the-top version of the genre that Italian filmmakers took to a whole new level. His big break was Django in 1966, a movie that spawned sequels, rip-offs, and even influenced Tarantino decades later. But Nero didn't just act. He directed too, helping keep the spaghetti western alive even after Hollywood started moving on. He made plenty of other great westerns, including The Tramplers, Massacre Time, The Mercenary, and White Fang. James Stewart wasn't always a western star. He was already a huge name thanks to the Philadelphia Story and It's a Wonderful Life. But after World War II, he fully committed to the genre. His first big western was Broken Arrow, but he really made his mark with Winchester 73, where he played one of the most intense, unhinged characters of his career. Stewart's westerns were often darker, more psychological, and a big reason why the genre evolved past simple good versus evil stories. Klaus Kinski is best known for his intense, villainous performances and his collaborations with director Werner Herzog. Their relationship was legendary for its chaos, often as volatile as the characters Kinski played. Kinski excelled as a villain but occasionally got lead roles like his haunting performance in The Great Silence. While he never fully broke into the American mainstream, his work in films like Pray for Your Death and A Bullet for the General has been embraced by fans, cementing him as a cult favorite. Lee Van Cleef earned a reputation for playing intimidating, sharp-eyed villains. His performance in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly made him an icon, but this film was just the start of his career in westerns. Van Cleef appeared in over 50 westerns, with supporting roles in classics like The Magnificent Seven and God's Gun. Later, he graduated to starring roles, showcasing his range. In Death Rides a Horse, he played a deadly, highly skilled gunfighter, while Sabata allowed him to step into the shoes of a more traditional, adventurous hero. Clint Eastwood is the ultimate Western star. His breakthrough in A Fistful of Dollars not only launched his career but also put the spaghetti Western genre on the map. From there, Eastwood starred in hits like Hang 'em High and Joe Kidd. But Eastwood didn't stop with acting. He started directing westerns too, including High Plains Drifter, The Outlaw, Josie Wales, and Pale Rider. His crowning achievement came with Unforgiven, where he played a retired outlaw pulled back into a life of violence. Unforgiven became one of the few westerns to win the Oscar for Best Picture and remains a masterpiece. John Wayne is the face of the western genre. His career-defining role in Stagecoach didn't just make him a star, it redefined what the modern western could be. That film also kicked off his long partnership with director John Ford, resulting in classics like The Searchers, She Wore a Yellow Ribbon, and Fort Apache. Wayne eventually moved behind the camera to direct films like The Alamo, where he portrayed Davy Crockett. He earned his only Oscar for True Grit in 1969, playing Rooster Cogburn, a grizzled U.S. Marshal.